All right, now we're on to the portion of the actual assignment that I need you to do. You're gonna need a few things. Today we're just gonna do the drawing portion of it. We'll deal with finishing it up next week. Okay, so one of the things you're gonna need is your white piece of paper. Again, I'm just using regular computer paper. If you have something nicer, please use that. If you just have lined ruler paper, go ahead and use that as best you can. Just do the best you can with what you got. You're gonna need a pencil. You're going to need a stencil, a circle stencil. And on your iPad, you're gonna wanna have the pictures available to kind of flip through and look at. So you may wanna have your iPad near you so you can look at these. I have mine printed out just so that we're not looking at a screen on a screen kind of a deal. So I just have mine to flip through. If you want to make copies of the ones I give you for your own records in your Google Drive, you are more than welcome to. You can easily do a really quick Google search for Day of the Dead sugar skulls. That is another way to get some ideas. I do have a ruler here, and the ruler is kind of just so I have a straight edge. There's no measuring needed for this. Okay, so we're gonna have to kind of do everything from scratch. Normally what I would do is have kind of a stencil for you, so that's where this lid comes in. And as you can see, this is clearly just a pot lid. And I just make sure that it's big enough that it takes up most of the space on the paper, but doesn't actually go off the edge on the sides here. And then we're going to literally just very lightly, oh, I forgot a step. Before we do any tracing, I would like us to fold our paper in half. That will help center things, and it will also help us with the symmetry of the project. Okay, so now that we have that fold, it helps us center the lid so that it's even on both spaces. Now for me, my lid is just about a finger space on each side, and I need a space down here because this is gonna be the top of the head, and then we're gonna put the jaw down here. Okay, next, we're gonna keep the jaw pretty simple, and you might wanna do this with the ruler. I'm gonna freehand it here. We just need kind of, it almost will look like a balloon, to be honest, the way we're gonna do this. The same spot on the other side here. So that's about 3 fingers, nope, it's a little shy. Fingers are great for trying to get quick measurements of stuff and making sure it goes. So I got about 3 fingers on this side, about 3 fingers on that side, and then I can cut across. Now what I'm gonna do is, now that I have the basic shape, I can round it, like see how these examples here, they're rounded at the bottom. Like that, okay? So I can go in now and kind of give it some more unique look. And it won't be perfectly symmetrical. Remember, symmetry is that it's the same on both sides, but we want it to be really close. Like that. I also can get rid of this line right here. Okay, next, after we got our jawline kind of done, I am going to go in and do some cheekbones. If you look at almost all these, they kind of have a cheekbone area. And I'm gonna go with the simple rounded ones because it just makes it a little bit easier to do. And where those cheekbones would be is right about where your jaw meets the top of the skull. So you can go in and give it a line like that. It's basically right where they meet. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. Again, I'm not gonna go too complicated with this because again, I'm gonna need to be able to be the same on both sides. Okay, now I have my basic jaw area, I have my basic cheekbone area. So next, just a little bit up from the middle here, I want to do the nose. And when you're talking about skulls, again, if you look at these, they're all basically kind of a upside down heart shape, except for this one where they kind of split it in half. And the reason for that is, with the skull, you don't actually have the cartilage and the skin covering it up, so there actually is a hole that looks kind of like an upside down heart. So that is what we're going to do. Now it's not going to be perfectly even with this, it's going to be slightly up. So one half of the heart's on here, and then the other half is there. Okay. Then, well, now that I have my my nose in place, it helps me figure out, you know, how high the mouth should be. So about halfway between the bottom of the chin and the nose is the line or the mark that I want to put for where the mouth is going to be. And what I'm going to do is just lightly give myself a line to work on, like that. Now, it's not actually a smile. This is the line that I'm going to line up all the teeth with. Okay. So the teeth are basically, I like to think of them as rounded rectangles for this assignment. And they should be maybe about the size of a pinky, and they get a little bit smaller once they get back to here. So about the size of your pinky, and you want to have the same amount on both sides. So I like to do the top first because they usually are slightly bigger teeth. And we don't have to do a ton of teeth. We don't have to do like a full set of teeth. I'm gonna do, let's say 4 on each side. No, I'm gonna do 5. The last one's a kind of a smaller one off the side. And if I did 5 on this side, then I need to do 5 on this side. Again, if you notice, I'm drawing really light. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because there I will be doing erasing, because that's just naturally part of the drawing process. All right, now the bottom teeth, again, if you look at my examples here, except for this one, the bottom teeth are a smidge, just a little bit smaller. And in real life, that's really how it is. Your bottom teeth are actually smaller than your upper teeth. So what we're going to do is have slightly smaller teeth. This takes a little bit of time. Again, don't have to be perfect, but do try to get them close. Okay, so it looks pretty even, except the bottom here, you need to round that a little bit more. Okay, next, our focus needs to be on where the eye sockets are. And eye sockets, this happens all the time. People are like, well, the eyes are on top of your head. Well, if I put my eyes way up here, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Your eyes are actually about halfway down the head. So that is where our eye sockets need to be. And they're gonna be in one, kind of lined up with the edge of the mouth, to be honest. They're kind of lined up with the edge of the mouth. So that is where I'm gonna do these kind of rounded squares or circles. Again, lined up. The center of the eye is roughly lined up with the edge there. Again, you could take your ruler and help yourself out and just mark where that center should be. And I'm kind of going to go with a circle because, again, it's just kind of an easier way to go with that. And then I'm going to I want this to be an actual mask. So what we're going to do is this. I need actual eye slits taken out. So we're going to put eye socket holes right here inside them. And remember, eyes are roughly the shape of a football. Like that. And don't worry if we get done with this mask and it doesn't quite fit you, that's okay. It's not going to be a huge deal or deal breaker for me. It's more of the idea of us making it as a mask kind of a thing. We are going to try our best. Right? So this would we're going to end up cutting this out. So we could even put a little X right here, just so we know that we need to cut that part out. And we're also going to be cutting out the nose area. And the simple reason for that is because we need to be able to breathe if we were wearing this mask. All right. That is actually where I want to leave it for today. We'll deal with design work next week because we've already had to watch several videos today. Definitely take a look at the different sheets I gave you so you can come up with different ideas. I'm not going to want us to make an exact copy of something you're seeing in our examples. It's fine to take like, oh, I like this part, so I'll add that here. I like this part from this one. I like, so you can pick and choose different features that you want. Okay, just kind of think about it. This is where we need to be, is to get this far. This part will take a while if you're doing it carefully. So that's one of those things that the reason why we're going to kind of stop. Don't forget to take a picture of this and send it to me through Google Classroom. Thank you.